Telegram. Arthur Holmwood to Seward. 1st September. I'm summoned to see my father, who is worse. Stop. I'm writing. Stop. Write me fully by tonight's post to ring. Stop. Wire me if necessary. Stop. It's time for Dracula Weekly. It's time for Dracula Weekly. And welcome once again to Dracula Weekly. I am your host, Jasmine Garcia, and joining me today are...
Jamila Karanakaran. Good news! Dracula has taken my threat seriously and is now leaving me alone. Bad news. That means now Renfield's now on his lonesome. That's not going to end well.
Yeah, no. So wait, you've been seeing Renfield too, besides the naked part?
Unfortunately. Well, because Dracula's not visiting him anymore, so...
Oh god, so he's jealous of you? Oh god.
I do not want to be on the end of it. It's just very glad that there was no mental link between me and Renfield. I would not survive that.
And I'm Ellie, and think me not cool because I obey the irresistible law of strength and weakness.
Sure.
Why not?
Don't worry about it.
Sure. So how have you been able to chase off Dracula then, Shami?
Well, I run out of Bonnie Man music to blast, but...
Sure, it was very funny making him disco dance, I'm sure, but it doesn't seem like it was chasing him off.
No, he got used to it, so I had to turn to an old classic. Watching garlic pickling videos. Yeah, I know. We just quiet down already. He keeps
Is he yelling at you?
Yeah, he keeps hissing at me, going, "Do not preserve that monstrosity."
Well, Drac, maybe if you weren't getting all up in human business, we wouldn't have to. And you could quote me on that.
No, you cannot. No, don't you dare. He is after something of yours. I will tell you the details when he's not eavesdropping.
Okay, good to know. I'm sorry, Ellie, what were you saying?
I mean, he did always like to interfere with human business and then get pissy when they interfered right back. It just seems like that's how that works.
I mean, most of the humans don't know what's going on as of now in the novel, but I'm sure that is going to end up happening.
Mm-hmm.
No, but you know who does know what's up?
Van Helsing!
Missed it by one day.
Callie will sue. Callie will sue.
He's finally here. Sort of, and then he walked away.
Yep, he just keeps going back and forth from Amsterdam, which... I do not know the travel time, so I'm guessing it takes a while for him to get his books from Amsterdam.
Well, yeah, but Europe is also a lot smaller than the United States, so going to a whole different country probably doesn't take nearly as long. But this is still Victorian era.
That doesn't give me context. I'm Canadian. I have no knowledge of U.S. geography.
That's valid, but
to my knowledge, Amsterdam is one of the closest major cities on the continent to the UK. Like, it's like right on the North Sea, so you just bounce back and forth by boat.
Yeah, there you go. And my mother grew up in Germany, and she had friends who would literally just hop off to Paris for a while because it's so close together. Meanwhile, if Callie were to try to even just go to another state, keep in mind they live in Texas, that's a whole day trip at least, and that's with modern transportation.
I had a friend of mine like attend a New Year's Eve stream that I did once, and I told him he lives in Calgary, and I told him the wrong start time because, as I told him, I thought Calgary was in Western time, and it's not. It's in Mountain time.
Oops.
And when I mentioned this to him, he says, Calgary is about 8 hours drive from Vancouver, and the friend of mine who was also on the stream from Texas says, "Oh, that's not that far." At the exact same instant as I say, "Oh, that's pretty far."
Enough said.
So distance is pretty relative.
Yeah, but even for the Victorian era, okay, so it'd be pretty easy for Van Helsing to go back and forth, which is probably for the best because they're probably going to need him.
It is extremely funny to me that he finally, he's the most famous character in the book outside of Vlad and maybe Lucy and Nina. And he just shows up and he's like, well, shit's fucked. Bye. I'll be back.
I mean, at least...
He's roasting Jack on top of everything else. He said, no, we'll just leave him up to his madmen.
Yep. And also, and in fairness, he did come up with the blood transfusion idea, which
Yes.
which, blood transfusions were very new back then, so they had no idea about blood type mattering and stuff like that, but Where's
that clip of River going, "You have no regard for blood type, Bram"?
In fairness, like I said, blood transfusions were very new back then. Though one has to wonder, because I know that it doesn't end up working very well in the long run. Could it have worked in the long run if they knew more about blood types back then? Discuss.
No, Dracula would have drained her either way.
Yeah, basically.
I mean, like, might have held him off until they like put him down, but
unless they infuse her with a blood type that doesn't react well to Dracula.
Or I don't know. Do vampires have preferred blood types? I've seen a lot of, like, I'm pretty sure the Vampire Diaries has one of the vampires have a preferred blood type.
Those posers, no, they don't have preferred blood types usually. It's more like the vibe of the person than their blood type.
Okay, so I guess that's why I'm not continuing this sentence, because I can already see Ellie looking at me.
I didn't say anything. I'm not. You know what?
Fine. It was implied.
You do have good vibes. I'll admit that.
Oh.
That's very sweet, but also just interesting. Anyway, this is actually a very Jack-centric portion of the story, so perhaps it is best that Callie unfortunately couldn't join us this week because they do not like Jack.
They want to eat him off a cliff.
Yep.
Do any of us really like Dracula?
Well, not Dracula.
No,
Jack.
Dracula.
In this
Jack.
case.
Jack.
I misheard entirely.
Yeah, Dr. Seward. Yeah, no, none of us really like Dracula. Do not pay no attention to the Funko Pops and blind box figurine I have here.
I won't.
Listen, if they had Carmilla ones, I would absolutely have them, but they don't, unfortunately, because unfortunately she has not gotten a major adaptation. What?
The world is deeply unfair. What are you fucking? You got that mini-series. The web series, like, I don't know.
And
I love the web series.
Those foreign films. Like, I don't know if it's the British one or if it's a Dutch one, but they do have, like, these ones from, like, 2019.
Yeah. That movie's very good. It's also a huge downer.
I mean, most Carmilla adaptations are probably going to be downers, unfortunately. But, the web series, I love the web series, but unfortunately, most of the normies have not heard of it.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Like, Dr. Seward is just having a rough week, but to his credit, he pretty much immediately is like, yes, obviously I will help Lucy, even though he's been moping over her this whole time.
Would be deeply shit of him to be like, no, she rejected me, so no medical help for you, bitch.
Yeah, no, obviously.
Mm-hmm. At least he goes over that hurdle. The bar is in Hades Town, as Callie would say, but he just barely ekes over it.
It's way down in Hades Town, if you will. But, yeah, obviously that'd be super unprofessional, but you know what? There are probably some incel bros who would do that, unfortunately.
Ugh.
They probably, code it in some excuse of why they're not doing it, but...
Mm-hmm.
But, like I had mentioned previously, this is still, at least partially, a story of these three guys who are still very much friends and still love each other, even if they were kind of vying over the same woman and one of them happened to quote-unquote win, for want of a better term.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least, temporarily.
I will admit, it was extremely funny to, in the format of Dracula Daily, reading my emails this week, it was extremely funny. It's always extremely funny to me, on the 5th, you just get, single sentence, oh, thanks.
Yeah, you get like a single sentence of a telegram.
That's not a good telegram.
Those are expensive though. They pay by the letter.
Yeah.
I didn't see a single stop in that telegram.
0 stars.
They probably charge for punctuation too.
Plus, yeah, that's true. Basically in every old cartoon or movie that has telegrams, you always hear the stop for the periods.
Yeah.
Was that just made up for the sake of? I don't know. Was that just made up?
No, that was real.
That was real.
Okay.
It's just and obviously if you're going to transcribe that into a book, you're probably just going to, put the period where the stop is.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Don't do that. Give me the stop.
It's funny to read out that way.
It'd be so funny.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Lucy continues to send so many death flags.
Mm-hmm.
Her health is yo-yoing so much. It's like one day she's all better, and then when Jack comes back from wherever, and then it just plummets in, and that's when the collar that she was wearing slips down, and Van Helsing sees the bite marks, and that's when he goes, "Oh, we're fucked."
Mm-hmm.
Na 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 na. We're completely fucked. We're completely fucked.
I do find it kind of like interesting in retrospect how much, if you look back at the two early big like defining vampire stories, which is Carmilla and Dracula, uh, vamps could like feed on you repeatedly over the course of like weeks or months, whereas like in most modern stories, you get bit once and that's it, game's over.
Yeah, I think it's basically because people have lost patience for that kind of pacing, even though
Yeah.
arguably, like I've seen people have pointed this out, vampires really shouldn't need to have to kill somebody in order to survive. They could literally just take like a pint and the other person would be fine.
I feel like some adaptations kind of like engage with that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I seem to recall a very bad plot line in Buffy, which engaged with that a tiny bit.
Right?
Because it was a plot line that involved Riley and therefore sucked. But anyway, I just feel like it is like it's more dramatic to have someone just like get bit, they're dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And also,
I don't know. Like we'll see what happens with that new Nosferatu adaptation that's coming out in a few months.
I'm so excited. Doesn't it? It looks so good.
So good.
I'm.
Robert Eggers does not miss.
It's so weird that's coming out around Christmas, but oh well.
What are you gonna do?
It's not. It's not like we can cover that around Christmas. Wink. But yeah, and plus, admittedly, just the vampire completely draining somebody automatically is a very easy way to show that they're evil.
Well, Bram was kind of building up the suspense because they Victorian audiences did not know what was going on, so to have Lucy be automatically drained just takes the tension out of things.
Yeah, no, I personally really love the slow burn, and not just because I don't want Lucy to die. I realize she is doomed by the narrative, but the longer we can keep her, the happier I am.
As soon as I learn how to undoom her from the narrative, the wedding is back on.
Hell yes!
Yes!
I will gladly come to that wedding.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think that I honestly, it's been like upwards of a decade since I first read Dracula. Probably closer to 2. No, definitely closer to 2. I first read it when I was a teenager. So
oh
like,
God,
13 or 14. Christ,
I'm so sorry, Ellie.
My back hurts so much. Anyway, so I can't be 100% certain how much of this is my actual memories, how much of it is like having seen other adaptations and kind of like, remembering backwards. But I do remember thinking like during the segment where she starts to get a little bit better, like, oh man, is Lucy actually gonna make it? That would be rad. And I'm like, oh, that's a bummer.
Wah wah.
It's interesting that she gets better when Van Helsing is there, but when Van Helsing is not in the immediate present, she immediately goes back to that really sad, like, drained state. I don't know. I feel like it's saying something there.
Yeah, no, for sure. And, like, she can barely speak. That's how weakened she's become. And it's just so sad. Like, this is such a vibrant character. And to just see her slowly slip away, it's genuinely really heartbreaking. And God, Mina's and I can't remember if Mina sees her one last time before she dies, but I have a really bad feeling she does not, and that's even worse.
Oh God, no.
I don't think so, no. Don't think Mina really has much to do left in the book. I think she starts getting the attentions of Dracula at some point in there, but I can't be positive. Like,
yeah, she does. She does. But that's a while away.
Pretty soon after Lucy passes, I would imagine, unfortunately.
That's kind of Drac's vibe. He gets tired of you, and then bounces to his next thing.
Ugh.
Vlad, you fucking piece of shit.
Indeed. Yep. Okay, show of hands. He's definitely at least partially responsible for this fucking time loop, right? It's gotta be somehow.
1,000%.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how, but perhaps that's the key. I don't know. Because then you would think constantly killing him would do the trick, but it doesn't seem to be, so...
I mean, like, let's be real with Mr. Vlad over there.
Right?
He's got some like weird. We know what normal vampires can do. We've all seen, I don't know, True Blood or whatever the fuck the kids watch these days. He's got some. I don't fucking know.
Lots of people watch True Blood. I would say it's Interview with the It's Interview with the Vampire now. I would say.
Interview with the Vampire.
We've all watched. We all know like the basic rules of vampire abilities and weaknesses, and obviously Vlad's got some extra shit going on. So I don't think it's particularly outside the realm of possibilities that Drac kind of engineered the time loop because he got killed and was like, well, we're gonna keep redoing this until I don't get killed anymore. That seems like his kind of bitch move.
That does seem like that does unfortunately sound about right, which makes it all the more frustrating because then that means we can't like properly kill him, or it's just gonna keep happening, huh? Shit.
No, we can figure something out. I mean, like the flip side would be that he might find another way to resurrect.
Wait, but was the Dardanus coffin thing ever resolved? Because
not yet. I know that's an important part of it, though, of like preserving himself.
But if it never got resolved, then that might be why he keeps coming back.
Ellie, thoughts?
I mean, like he's got some shit that even I don't totally know how it works going on, like the whole turning into mist thing, or like how he can turn into multiple different kind of animal. Most vamps just pick one. Vlad, asshole. Never mind. But if I had to guess, I'd actually say that the like turning into mist thing is probably pretty related to it because that would be like, decorporealizing, moving through shit. And so if we can find a way to take that ability away from him, we're probably gonna be able to put him down.
Interesting. I'm liking that. I'm definitely writing down just that. It's not like anything else has been said that is of import. Anyway.
You all right there, Jazz?
Yep, we're good. We're great.
You're writing down a lot over there.
Yeah. Listen, I have a lot of thoughts.
You know what? I've told you not to worry about it, so I'm not going to worry about it.
But yeah, man, for like a lot does happen in this chapter, but I guess are we all in agreement that Seward is the least good suitor, and that's why we don't want to talk about him very much?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, but let's talk about Van Helsing instead. Like that corn metaphor. Oh, he was like on Swale. Yeah, he was like on Swale level, like metaphor. Like if I don't know if he and Swales had met, they would either get on like a house on fire, or they would have long-winded, metaphor-laden arguments. I don't know which one I like best.
Yes, and it'd be nigh incomprehensible because. Don't think I didn't notice the broken English in there, Bram. Don't think I didn't notice.
Yeah.
Which, listen, I don't know many Dutch people. I'm German and Dominican. But, so I do know what it usually sounds like when someone's first language is not English and they're kind of stumbling through it. It ain't quite that, Bram.
In my experience, is not extensive, but in my experience, like, different groups of people have different places where they kind of like stumble. You are correct that is not like a francophone place where I feel like they're stumbling. It just kind of feels like you're just like, I just want to indicate they're foreign. I got a deadline. Here we go.
Yeah, basically. I get it. It was the Victorian era. Nobody actually cared.
Plus, one of the things that I love about Europe is like Europeans will claim that they're not racist. I'm gonna skip over the fact that if you ever want to prove that wrong, just like
Romani.
Ask them how they feel about Romani people. You will hear some next level racism. But on an additional level, they're all like from the same continent. They're not that far apart. And then you'll find out that like this little village in France is deeply and abidingly racist against another village in France 3.5 miles away.
It's weird. It's so weird.
So I have to imagine that if you were in England in that time, you were just kind of passively racist against the Dutch.
Yep, I could see it, unfortunately.
I know. But speaking of the Dutch, like, you both were on, like, the production of The Roaring Girl. So,
Yes.
when I was like reading through Van Helsing's parts, I imagined that very over the top accent that the actor for Tearcat did. Complete with the
That would be very funny.
I've been meaning to ask this. Why is Drax so afraid of you? Do I want to know?
I say this a lot, but I wouldn't worry about it. Not like any of you can do anything to stop me anyway.
Yeah, I'm not touching that. Just keep doing whatever it is you're doing, because he's finally stopped hissing for once.
It would be nice if we could keep you safe from this bullshit, Ellie.
If you ever want to get him to leave you quiet for like 20 minutes, half an hour, just remind him. Don't overuse this, but just remind him that we have fucking rules about this, Vlad, and you are blatantly ignoring them.
Really?
He just got very quiet all of a sudden, so I think that might last for a while. I'm hoping. Just will you stop that?
What rules?
Don't worry about it.
Okay. Oh, we forgot to talk about Renfield.
Yes.
It's the same shit. I love
He's
Renfield.
just like getting sugar cubes and then feeding it to flies, and then he uses it to catch a spider, and then he just throws it all away, saying, "I'm sick of this."
As much as I like Renfield's story, like adaptational stories, in the actual book, he is very much just same shit, different day.
He is a one-note character.
He's a static character.
Which, in fairness, like, I've said it before that I actually think the 31 version of Dracula is a little overrated, but the way they portray Renfield is that is one of the few moments it's just like, that absolutely makes you deserve how iconic this movie is seen as.
Did they pretty much like combine like Jonathan and Renfield's characters together for that?
More or less. Like, I made the joke before, but that Renfield movie that came out last year, it's just like, but the 31 movie kind of already was Renfield's movie.
And they're doing again with Nosferatu because, technically Nicholas Hoult is playing another Jonathan figure.
Yeah,
so
that's true. Like, Nicholas Hoult, are you trying to play every role in Dracula? Because I'm not going to say no to that.
Look, I love the original Nosferatu with all my heart and soul. I love Werner Herzog's remake. I'm pretty excited for this one. Again, Mr. Eggers has yet to miss. But let's be real, it was always just like Dracula with the serial numbers filed off.
Oh, yes, to the point where Stoker's widow out and out tried to have it destroyed because, hey,
very glad she failed.
Mm-hmm.
I am, but on the other hand, she had a point.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was the era of filmmaking where their primary way of avoiding copyright strike was just like, what if we just moved to California?
Yeah, basically. But no, like in the 31 version, Dwight Fry puts in a powerhouse performance as Renfield, and like in that version, Renfield is kind of torn between serving his master, but also like, no, this is wrong. Point is, I'm glad
interesting that what we got going on here with this Renfield, at least.
Although, even here, it seems like he's just like, no, this is all pointless. He's abandoned me.
What do I do from here? He's like having an existential crisis.
You little bitch.
Yeah. Renfield, please. Get a hobby.
Ugh. One that does not involve sex.
Renfield, he's not the love of your life.
Hit
it with your car.
Okay, he's not actually some guy, but you should still hit him with your car.
Yeah. Has anyone ever tried that?
Yeah.
I guess it didn't work. Okay.
Mm.
It did not work.
We don't know how Dracula goes with vehicles.
It didn't put him down permanent, but it did hurt him a lot. And that was the point.
You know what? That is nice. But yeah, to bring up Buffy again, he always comes back, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's unfortunately the kind of problem we're running into.
Yeah.
What was that other thought I had?
Yeah.
No, Callie did have that idea about...
Mhm.
No, because since Dracula is is a shapeshifter, he can shift to whatever animal he wants. I did have the thought about him shifting into a cat and having a hissy fit with popcorn.
Oh, he changes into a cat. Oh, it's fucking on, Vlad.
Although, I mean, good luck in trying to, yeah, like you said, good luck in him trying to win over Popcorn that way. Popcorn hates everybody.
And especially other cats. If Dracula cat was in her sight, she'd just yowl.
Yeah, there was this one time she literally almost killed herself trying to get at a stray cat.
Yeah, that sounds like her.
Cats are proud creatures, you're right. But yeah. Point is, popcorn would probably attack and it'd be very funny.
Wait, how big is Dracula's cat version? Do you have a size on that?
I don't know.
I think smaller than a panther at least.
Okay.
Well then, yeah, he's absolutely cribbing Carmilla's thing if that's the case.
Isn't he always been cribbing Carmilla? Because, like, well, the original Dracula was inspired by that.
You're not wrong.
In addition to, like, John William Polidori's The Vampire. So he rips off a lot.
He has been an unoriginal little shit for a while.
Centuries. How old is he even? Well,
that's not
I don't think it matters when he's acting like a bratty 5-year-old all the time.
You'd be surprised.
You
that age
can stop it.
Leave Shami alone, you asshole. We're coming for you, asshole. That's all I have to say about that. We are still coming for you.
Yeah, that would be my reminder to him, the thing he should remember.
Technically, there was one more thing, like with the blood transfusion, Arthur was all dramatic, saying, "I would give every last drop," and Van Helsing was like, "Save some for yourself," and that is a mood.
Yeah, it's like, dude, calm down. We don't need all of it. Who's got stuff to plug?
I am, as always, the host of The Biggest Night in Podcasting, where we watch an Oscar-winning film and discuss it. We just uploaded a really good episode involving Jasmine on The Picture of Dorian Gray. Might have heard of it.
Got it right that time.
I did.
Yay!
And as always, you can find me on Twitter, Twitter, Blue Sky, Medium, and Letterboxd at LSR42, at Tumblr on Football and Tuxedos with dashes between all the words. And just remember, all things in heaven, in the earth, and under the earth act and live as nature ordained.
And you can find me on the online news on Tumblr, where I post listicles and graphics, and where you can find me for all your fancast requests.
And as always, you can find me on Twitter, Tumblr, TikTok, and Blue Sky at Favor Vieira. You could also follow the show on Twitter at IER Podcast. And if you would like to help us reach the next chapter of our story, please consider leaving us a review or rating us on the podcatcher of your choice, telling all of your friends and family about us. And even better, if you have room in your wallets, please consider donating to our Patreon, our Ko-Fi page, or just the support the show link below. And now let's close out this week's Dracula Weekly. A telegram came from Van Helsing at Amsterdam whilst I was at dinner, suggesting I should be at Hillingham tonight, as it might be well to be at hand, and stating that he was leaving by night mail and would join me early in the morning. Alright, that part's done for the day. Now, just adding a couple of pins to the murder board. Ellie, what aren't you telling us?